Hello, and welcome to our project on Russian imperialism. Russia is a large country in the eastern hemisphere of our world today, and this is Russia's flag. This is Russia in the late 1600s, or the small area on the left is Russia in the late 1600s, and the rest of the area is Russia after it expanded, and the red arrows show the directions in which Russia expanded during its imperialism conquest. And this is a timeline on Russia's some of Russia's important events. So in 1689 through 1725, Peter the Great built a new capital, which was located in St. Petersburg. And in 1796, Catherine the Great extended Russia's borders. And from 1853 to 1856, Russia attempted to control Turkey in the Crimean War, and it ended up being defeated. And then in 1861, Alexander II strengthened Russia's borders and sold Alaska, or current-day Alaska, to the United States. And then a few facts about Russia today are the current population is 143 million people. The capital is Moscow, and the head of state is Vladimir Putin. He's also the president. It is called a federal republic, and the GDP is $4 trillion, $4 trillion US dollars. During Russia's imperialism conquest, they colonized all of Mongolia, a large part of northern China. They colonized Bulgaria in Europe, and they colonized the Baltic states during the 19th century. And they also colonized northern Iran during the Kahar dynasty. And the impact Russia had on the areas it imperialized was the Russian language was forced to be the dominant language. And even though the working language in most cities and countries it colonized was German or native, the children were publicly shamed if they were caught speaking their native language. And people who spoke Latvian were also called Nazis in the 19th century, 20th century. And most of the wars Russia fought were on the defensive, so they were being attacked. And then two of Russia's most important most current important leaders were Stalin during World War II. He was increasingly portrayed as the steely architect of the Soviet victory in World War II, and it was called the Great Patriotic War. And Putin, who is the current ruler of Russia, he has been said to have returned Russia to its proper place as a global power.
Alaska was known to be the very largest colony that Russia has said to colonize. Later, within the 19th century, the U.S. would later on purchase Alaska for a great amount of money, which would be called Seward's Folly, which is named after all the ice and water that Alaska is made of. The current population of Alaska is 737,000 people, with a GDP of $50 billion. Its current capital resides in Juneau, with a current democracy, and its head of state is Mike Dunleavy, with the president of the entire country being Donald Trump. Since most of central Alaska was not explored, the native people in that area were not disturbed at all. Only land and water routes were developed, so Russian didn't mess with the native land at all. There were small amounts of rebellion, such as the Tlingit tribe, which is a southeastern Alaskan tribe, but for the most part, the land was left alone in Alaska.
And then this is our bibliography, all the websites we used, and the AMSCO book. And then thank you for listening and watching.